Oh, well, must be Wednesday. Happy Wednesday.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Wow, this is an awesome group. As I was introduced, I was a superintendent in the county for 23 years. For those of you who are counting, that's 500 school board meetings I was superintendent. For those of you who've been to board meetings, you understand. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Mary Ann Dwan, Interim County Superintendent of Schools. For over 27 years, she's had experience in education, is recognized for her expertise and experience in early learning, special education, education reform, and change leadership. Prior to serving as Deputy Superintendent for the county office, she held the position of Chief Schools Officer for the Student Services Branch, overseeing all students serving educational programs here. Over the course of her career, she has served in the position of Executive Director, Assistant Superintendent, Director of Special Ed, Principal, and Teacher. Obviously, she's had a hard time keeping a job, but we're really glad that she's here now. As a senior consultant for Cross and Joftis, Dr. Dwan supported educational reform improvements and change initiatives in several states. She's also been a professor at Marion, Butler, and Indiana universities, having taught courses in teacher preparation and educational leadership. When asked to make this presentation, I contacted some of my former colleague superintendents throughout the county to ask them some words that I might be able to share with you. And some of those words are, Mary Ann is a breath of fresh air, gets things done, cares about all kids, supports local schools, a joy to work with, and an exemplary educational leader. Please welcome Dr. Mary Ann Dwan.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Dr. Groves, for the very kind introduction. And thank you to our staff and stakeholders for joining me for the 2018 State of the County Office of Education. I am truly excited to welcome you all. Today, I will speak to the accomplishments and challenges of the past year in light of our organizational values: students first, collaboration, innovation, and service, and our vision to transform public education through leadership, service, and advocacy. And I will share my hopes and vision for 2018. We are fortunate to have a County Board of Education that embraces these values and supports our strategic plan, our goals, actions, and strategies. I value our collaboration with the County Board of Education as we implement the county office goals, work on education legislation, and support community initiatives. And I congratulate them for their leadership, advocacy, and service. You might not know this, but January is Board Appreciation Month. And I would like to use this, the last day of January, and take a moment to acknowledge our board members for their contributions of time, talent, and service. Thank you to President Rosemary Kamei, who represents Area 3, and to Trustee Joseph DeSalvo, who represents Area 4 and who happens to be here today. To Trustee Anna Song, representing Area 5, Trustee Darcy Green, Area 6, Trustee Claudia Rossi, Area 7, and Trustee Grace Ma, Area 1. I have titled today's address, Living Our Values, Service to Students, Staff, and Schools. Student learning, growth, and success are at the heart of our work, and our work is promoting learning, growth, and success for every child in Santa Clara County. We do our work with, for, and on behalf of the 31 school districts, Metro Ed, and our 23 Santa Clara County Board of Education authorized charter schools. Santa Clara County youth are diverse in culture, ethnicity, background, experience, and language. Our youth represent a rich and beautiful diversity in our schools and programs. Our work with children starts at birth, and one of our greatest challenges is the lack of access to high-quality childcare and preschool. Almost 10,000 3- and 4-year-olds have no access to licensed childcare or education. The first 5 years of life are critical learning years when 90% of the brain develops. Some Santa Clara County youth are at risk of dropping out of school. In fact, recent data indicates a 12% dropout rate, which means that approximately 2,500 students a year leave school without earning a high school diploma and without enrolling in another program. Suicide rates for youth in our county have increased since 2003. And while the increase is startling, the loss of even one young person to suicide is cause for alarm. Recently, the California State Accountability Data Dashboards revealed that students with disabilities throughout the state are not achieving at the levels we would hope and expect. And in Santa Clara County, 15% of our children have special health care needs. While more of our youth have access to health insurance, far too many go without access to dental care, preventative health screenings, and health care. They experience food instability and experience homelessness. Our hardworking educators and our community partners are making heroic efforts to support young people, to provide quality educational opportunities. And doing this within the confines of the state of California's poor national standing and funding for public schools. California ranks 45th nationally in the percentage of taxable income spent on education. We are 41st in per pupil funding, 45th in pupil-teacher ratios, and 48th in pupil-staff ratios. California funds schools at roughly $1,961 per student less than the national average, which when adjusted or translated comes to approximately $3,462 less, accounting for California being a high cost of living state. And in the area of special education, federal funding covers 9% of the cost, state funding representing only 31% of the cost to deliver the necessary and required services and programs for students with disabilities, leaving local districts to cover 60% of the cost with limited options to raise additional revenue. The impact of inadequate funding in a high cost of living region is being felt by our districts and results in declining enrollment, school closures, and staffing reductions. Add to this bleak economic picture rising costs for our schools and our own county office operated programs, and the statistics are sobering. In terms of academic wellness, we can look to the California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress. Our Department of Assessment and Accountability highlighted the following data. 62% of county students met or exceeded English language arts students standards, compared to 49% across the state. 55% met or exceeded the math standards in our county, while the state average was 38%. And overall, in 8 of 9 subgroups, Santa Clara County students' results on the CASP met or exceeded their state's counterparts. These are encouraging results and something to celebrate. Yet a substantial achievement gap remains between our Hispanic Latino students and white and Asian students. For English language arts, there is a 46 percentage points difference between the percentage of Hispanic, Latino, and Asian students that reach the standard or standard exceeded achievement levels. In math, a 56 percentage point difference. And a similar gap exists for economically disadvantaged youth. Eliminating the achievement gap is one of our most pressing challenges and one that speaks to the need of equity, access, and inclusion for all students. There is reason for hope and optimism. The County Office of Education serves an important and necessary role. We represent the 295,000 school-age youth who live in our county and deliver programs and services to meet their diverse needs. And we represent the additional 141,000 children aged 0 to 5. 438,000 children are counting on us. This is why we value students first, and why it is so critical as a value to our organization, and why we celebrate the amazing work of our direct service programs in the Student Services branch, as well as the professional learning and curriculum work of our Educational Services branch. We provide powerful data to educators in the region. Our branches collaborate to support our districts with valuable services, partnerships, and programs that promote a data-driven culture, a culture designed to use data for the common good, for improvement, and to change systems. Our departments and dedicated staff make an impact on the lives of our students and their families, as well as the teachers and school districts in our region. Over the past 25 years, our society has experienced significant change that impacts our students of today. Changes in the workforce, growth in the service economy, the volatility of politics, the rapid pace of information, rapid technological advances, and the growing diversity of our nation. We, the County Office of Education, directly support our students and schools with this core value of students first. While we have many examples of this value, I'd like to highlight just a few ways the County Office of Education puts students first. There are approximately 8,000 youth ages 16 to 24 who have not yet earned a high school diploma and are disengaged from school. Particularly youth who receive special education services, are English learners, are economically disadvantaged, and are Hispanic and Latino. Our Opportunity Youth Academy continues to grow and flourish. Conexión opened as the 5th site of the Opportunity Youth Academy this year, and OYA has re-engaged more than 250 mostly economically disadvantaged students, helping more than 60 young people graduate in the year's second year program. The Joint Foster Youth Task Force was established to explore what the county and the County Office of Education can do to ensure our foster youth achieve success in, among other areas, education, employment, health, housing, and independent living skills. There are currently 1,440 youth in foster care, and our office shares a duty to serve foster youth. Foster youth graduate at a lower rate than their peers, are more likely to be unemployed, homeless, and incarcerated. One outgrowth of the task force is the Foster Youth Aligned Action Network, which we will co-lead with Santa Clara County to coordinate efforts and improve outcomes. And I want to specifically acknowledge Supervisor Cindy Chavez for her leadership and partnership in this work. Supervisor Chavez is a champion for children. I also want to acknowledge Trustee Joseph DeSalvo for his leadership and collaboration on the Joint Foster Youth Task Force. Over 200 students from high school and post-secondary special education programs throughout Santa Clara County met with prospective employers at our Ritter Park offices for the 2017 Workability Youth Job and Career Fair. Walden West Outdoor Science and Environmental Camp welcomed more than 14,000 students while adjusting its schedule due to road repair work caused by the 2016 winter storms. Walden West recently added a more rigorous program accreditation as part of its ongoing efforts to ensure a high-quality and safe experience for students. Early care and education is one way that research has shown that we can use to close the access and achievement gap. The County Office of Education is committed to practices that ensure all students are kindergarten ready and have access to high-quality early learning programs. We provide professional learning and support to educators and school districts with research-based best practices and programs. To increase access, the local Early Learning Planning Council worked with legislative representatives to establish the Santa Clara County Child Subsidy Plan that waives certain state rules and allows county-specific eligibility criteria, family fees, and reimbursement rates. Thank you to the Board of Supervisors and current President Joe Simitian for their support of our subsidy plan. By raising the income limit in our county, we estimate that approximately 1,100 more children can be served in a preschool program. Head Start was accepted into the UCLA and Johnson & Johnson Healthcare Institute and the National Center on Health's Innovative Health Literacy Improvement Program, based on the What to Do When My Child Gets Sick book series. Research shows that parents who have gone through this training curriculum and received a copy of the health information book reported a 48% reduction in emergency room visits and a 37.5% reduction in unnecessary health clinic visits. This has resulted in approximately 42% fewer work days missed by parents and an estimated $554 a year cost savings in ER and clinic visits per each family trained. By delivering this easy to understand and culturally sensitive training to Head Start families, we strive to not only improve children's health and attendance, we also empower parents to make more informed decisions about their child's health and reduce the burden of unnecessary emergency room and clinic visits on our healthcare system. The Multilingual Education Service Department hosted the 14th Annual Academic Success for English Learners and Migrant Students, entitled Redefining Language and Literacy Development for the 21st Century. The conference included practical sessions on dual language immersion and integrated English language development and English language arts and maths, and sessions were presented by national and state level experts. As you can tell, our most effective work is not done alone. It is through partnerships that we are able to benefit students, and collaboration leverages the impact of our work in the region. We are very fortunate to have a diverse group of partners who support children, health, and education because it is a critical piece of making our communities great places to live, work, and play. One of the most powerful examples of living this value is our office's work with Santa Clara County. Whether through supporting Santa Clara County's legal challenge to the federal government's threat to withhold federal funding from so-called sanctuary jurisdictions, or through our collaborations and implementation of the Children's Health Plan, which highlights our shared understanding of the interconnection of health and education. We have had additional successful collaborations with other elected officials and organizations in 2017. The Power of Democracy event brought together Santa Clara County leaders on August 9th to participate in a nonpartisan county-wide discourse regarding the state of civic engagement. The event included a panel of experienced civic engagement leaders who provided their expertise in engaging opportunities in our current political climate. And we were fortunate to have keynote speaker Ann Ravel, former chair of the Federal Election Commission under President Obama. And a special thank you to Trustee DeSalvo for his extensive collaboration and ongoing support of our civic engagement initiatives. The Charter Schools Department hosted the 2017 Public Choice School Symposium to highlight programs of choice across the districts and in Santa Clara County. Participants engaged in critical discussions of educational issues through panel presentations, seminars, site visits, and workshops. And more than 200 volunteers from Target and organizers from Kaboom joined forces to build a new playground at Hester School. The design was based on children's drawings. Hester School serves students with disabilities as well as students who are medically fragile, and the addition of this playground improves their access to play, which allows children to develop a variety of physical, cognitive, and emotional skills. Our profession promotes growth mindsets and encourages innovation. We embrace innovation. But in order to innovate, we need to be agile, cautious risk takers who listen and engage with our stakeholders. The EdTech Services Department was featured in both TeacherCast podcast and District Administrator magazine to discuss how micro-credentials are impacting the K-12 world. A micro-credential is a mini certification or digital badge which is awarded for a specific skill or competency, in case you didn't know. EdTech has developed online content and training for professional learning micro-credentials for K-12 teachers, administrators, and County Office of Education staff members. Micro-credentials have the power to tell an accurate story of professional learning. A self-paced digital learning path can be a good solution for busy professionals. The EdTech Services team is building partnerships with County Offices of Education throughout the state to unify our efforts and create a statewide platform where educators can personalize their professional learning at their own pace, place, and time frame. Other examples of innovative programs and services include Curriculum and Instruction and their newly launched comprehensive teacher professional development portal, as well as a monthly professional development newsletter. Our office joined several Santa Clara County school districts in hosting an Hour of Code. This week-long event pairs community partners with school sites to bring coding into the classroom, and schools throughout the county are partnering with software and technology companies, including Google, Tableau, and Apple, to host coding events for their students and families. Bringing the Hour of Code to Santa Clara County is part of this larger initiative. The State Board of Education formed a committee to develop computer science standards for the state of California. And California is one of only 11 states that have passed legislation to create K-12 curriculum standards for computer science education, which will be due by July of 2019. The Technology Services Branch has started construction of a network of dark fiber connecting Silicon Valley school districts. The project is funded in part through the Universal Service Administration Company and the federal E-rate program. The project provides increased internet bandwidth for schools and faster, more reliable internet access to learning resources for students. Our Technology Services Branch partnered with school districts on the project proposal and leverages resources to benefit students and schools. The project will connect nearly all school districts in Silicon Valley to the Santa Clara County Office of Education's data center using dark fiber. Dark fiber refers to the unused fiber optic cable installed by companies in order to avoid costs of having to do it again when there is no additional need for fiber optic cable. And the dark fiber network will enable Santa Clara County school districts to connect to the internet at speeds limited only by the equipment they decide to use, making the process of increasing bandwidth simpler and more cost-effective. The design of the project will also provide a measure of resiliency in case there are cuts or disruption to the fiber optic cabling in certain portions of the network. The project is scheduled to be completed by November 2018. Our fourth value serves as the foundation for our work in this region. We are primarily a service organization. It is clear to me that the Santa Clara County Office of Education staff take great pride in providing outstanding service. Whether you're providing direct services to students or working in a support function at Ritter Park or providing professional learning to educators, I see your pride every day. As we all know, finding qualified professionals for certificated and classified positions is a challenge. The Santa Clara County Office of Education has done an outstanding job of assisting school districts with recruiting and hiring qualified candidates. We see this during the well-established teacher fair with over 700 applicants attending, as well as 200 plus applicants in 20 districts that participate in the classified job fair. Other recruiting events include the Instructional Assistant Job Fair and Step Into Teaching. All of these efforts are vital to keeping our schools staffed with high-quality employees. Our Business Services branch provided outstanding service to both our school districts and County Office of Education departments. Several business and financial trainings were held throughout the year, including our LCAP, payroll and retirement, year-end accounting, close process, and providing some significant work on our own County Office of Education's budget. There were many other ways we provided support and service to our schools. Superintendents, district office administrators, site administrators, support staff, teachers, parents, board members, and community organizations all gathered for the third annual Northern California Positive Behavior Intervention Support School Climate Symposium. Topics included multi-tiered systems of support framework, school safety planning, and at the event, we released our study on school policing in Santa Clara County, where I also shared a vision for a countywide memorandum of understanding on school policing, which we developed in partnership with our school superintendents, Chief Garcia of the San Jose Police Department, and the Santa Clara County District Attorney, Chris Ariola. The third week of October is designated to honor safety in our schools, and our office joins schools throughout California and across the nation to educate, participate, and help spread safety awareness. America's Safe Schools Week, which focuses on keeping campuses free of crime and violence. National School Bus Safety Week, which focused on this year's safety theme, #StopOnRed. And on October 20th, thousands of students participated in the Great Shakeout earthquake drills. Our risk management department also recently hosted an active shooter training for our own office and schools in the region. The fourth annual Inclusion Collaborative State Conference brought together educators from across the state to learn and share evidence-based practices for the successful inclusion of students with disabilities in educational programs and communities. Participants learned how to build, enhance, and sustain inclusive practices in their respective programs and communities. The work we've accomplished over the past year has been significant, and we can all take great pride in it. Our vision and values are essential guideposts as we address one of our biggest challenges ahead, our budget. We must align revenue with expenditures to remain fiscally solvent while continuing to focus on our organizational values, goals, and priorities. I believe that the budget must reflect our commitment to implement high-quality programs that directly support students, staff, and school districts. I believe that the indirect rate charged to districts is an important part of budget deliberations, and we must work to keep it as low as possible. That programs and services should seek opportunities to generate revenue and become self-sustaining. And that discretionary spending must be reduced, including travel and food expenses. We must streamline our business operations, find efficiencies within our operations, and look for cost savings. And I believe that our workforce is critical. I highly value our workforce, and I recognize the potential impact of budget changes for staff. A balanced budget is a shared responsibility. I know we can make the necessary adjustments, and we have some time to do so. And I want to offer an opportunity for staff and community to learn about and provide input as part of our budget development process. To that end, I will be hosting a budget town hall on February 15th at 6:30 p.m. at our office here at Ritter Park. A balanced budget will take all of us working together. We must sustain our focus on closing achievement and access gaps for youth in our county. And I believe there are some core areas that we should consider to move the needle in Santa Clara County. We must advocate for increased access to high-quality early learning. We must expand the use of DataZone and other technology tools to provide educators with just-in-time, meaningful data to shape student instruction, evaluate programs, and conduct research. We need to redesign the continuum of services for students with disabilities in our county. Invest in high-quality professional learning for our employees and educators throughout the county, and provide thoughtful oversight and support to our school districts, particularly regarding the local control accountability plans. And we must expand, strengthen, and leverage our partnerships with community-based organizations, including the County of Santa Clara, a Black Education Network, First Five of Santa Clara County, the Silicon Valley Education Foundation, the Silicon Valley Council of Nonprofits, the Silicon Valley Leadership Group, the City of San Jose, funders, the Silicon Valley Community Foundation, Kids in Common, the Silicon Valley Children's Fund, the Hispanic Foundation of Silicon Valley, and many others, too many to name. I am confident that as one of the most resourced and collaborative communities in the world, we can tackle difficulties and setbacks and celebrate accomplishments. I know we can do it because we have been honored for outstanding work in the field of education. The Santa Clara County Office of Education is the first county office of education to receive the Multiple Pathways to Biliteracy Recognition Award. Presented by Californians Together, the award celebrates organizations for leading the way in world-class language education from preschool through 12th grade. In winning the award, the County Office of Education was recognized for promoting the Seal of Biliteracy and Pathway Awards in school districts, the National My Name, My Identity Initiative, National Bilingual Multilingual Learner Advocacy Month, and many other notable efforts. We also received a Golden Bell Award from the California School Boards Association. This award recognizes and highlights best practices in all areas of education, including operation, instruction, and support services. And this year, the STEAM initiative was recognized for STEAM, Innovative Professional Development Certificates. The certificate series was designed as a year-long innovative practice model to guide STEAM implementation in the classroom. The program focuses on professional development for educators that promotes deeper understanding and helps create successful integrative practices that support educators well beyond a one-day workshop. We have the knowledge, the drive, and the collective values to make a difference in the lives of students and families. And we can transform public education and ensure that every young person in our county is healthy, happy, and successful. It is a destiny that drives our work and the way we live our values every day for every young person in Santa Clara County. A moral test for us all is how, as a community, we care for our children. We know how to help students succeed, and we cannot underestimate the value and importance of human connection. Teaching and learning should bring joy. Imagine how powerful our world would be if every young person was unafraid to take risks, thought critically, set goals, and had a mentor, caring adult. Every child deserves a champion. Education builds confidence. Confidence builds hope, and hope brings peace. Join me as we transform public education through equity, access, achievement, inclusion, and health and wellness. Let us no longer accept the things we cannot change, but rather change the things we cannot accept. Thank you.